Hello gliders and welcome to my channel. In this video we will analyze my first outlanding. I would like to explain to you and discuss about my decisions around this flight, not only the good ones but also the bad ones. But first I would like to explain to you the task and the weather of the day. As you can see here, the weather forecast for the place of the airfield was very good. I planned to go to the south looking for other areas with good weather conditions. After that, I would go to the southeast. This would allow me to go back home with the help of the wind that comes from the east and the south. But things not always happen as you plan, and in my first attempt for starting the task, I had to land again in my airfield because I wasn't able to find any thermal. And maybe this is my first wrong decision of the day. I started the task 1 hour later than planned, and in spring we have much less sun hours than in summer. So now, let's fly and start the task. Here we are, turning the first thermal after releasing the tow plane. This thermal will get me to 900 meters above the ground level. This altitude was the predicted by the forecast weather, so I was really optimistic about the day and the weather conditions. At this moment, with 900 meters above the ground level and these beautiful clouds in the south direction, I decide to start the task and go for it. Here, just at the beginning of the task, surprise! A really nice blue thermal that will get me about 1500 meters above the ground level. This situation made me feel really optimistic about the day, about the weather condition, and I really thought that everything was going to be alright. At this moment I had to decide what I was going to do. I could go to the left with this big blue area and going directly to the first point of the task, or I can go to the right with these beautiful clouds at my right. Finally, I decide to choose my second option, the clouds. At the beginning it can appear that it is an easier way for going for the first point, but Going by these clouds will get me to the west, and we had a strong wind from the east, so I will have to fight against this wind in the future. Here we are, in our way to the first point of the task, at 1500 meters above the ground level, with good weather conditions, with good thermals, clouds, everything looks very nice. The issue here was that the weather forecast told us that we should have around 500 more meters. Something was going wrong. This could be one of the most relevant parts of the task of this day. At this moment I was around 900 meters above the ground, really far away from my airfield in a spring day, after passing below many clouds without any type of thermals. I thought about the situation and I decided to go back home. So after deciding of going back home, I found a really nice thermal that get me for around 1500 meters above the ground level, and I start to feel really optimistic about the day. This thermal was really strong, and here maybe it's one of my worst decisions of the day. I changed my previous decision of going back to my airfield and I turned to go again for the first point of the task. At this moment I was really close to the first point of the task and I found a really strong thermal that get me really high. Due to this thermal and the solar panels that you can see in the position of the first point of the task made me feel really optimistic about completing the task this day. Arriving to the first point of the task, I was hoping that these solar panels that you can see in the screen could help me to find any type of leaf that helped me to continue with the task. But I was totally wrong. As you can see in the down part of the screen in the barogram, I didn't find any type of leaf, of thermal, anything that helped me to continue. After turning the first point of the task, I realized that I was not going to finish this task, so I changed my decision and I went directly to my airfield. A little bit later, after passing the first point of the task and after passing below some clouds without any type of thermal activity or leaf force, I decided to go to these mountains, hoping that the shape of the mountain or the stones helped me with some lift. But again, I was totally wrong. At this moment, I started to look down to the ground, looking for a place that could help me in case that I need to outland in this area. But as you can see, almost everything was covered by olive trees, so the thing was starting to get a little bit complicated. I saw these clouds over this town, so I decided to go in that direction, hoping that these clouds and the town could give me some leaf force that allowed me to go a little bit to the north, looking for a safer area in case of an outlanding. But one more time, I was wrong. So after trying to get some leaf for some time over the town, I decided to go a little bit to the north, look for a place for landing and outline here. This area looks much better than the previous one, so I started to prepare myself and the plane for the outlanding. But in the last moment, when I was doing the tailwind for the outlanding, I found a bird really close to me and I saw that he was turning in a thermal, so I just tried for the last option for getting some lift. I was really lucky and this thermal get me really high, so I get very optimistic about going back home. I really thought that I would be able for landing safely in my airfield.
Turn it up!
At this moment, After being turning the thermal with some birds and with around 1000 meters above the ground level, I decided to go straight home. If I had just some little lift during my way, I will arrive safely in my airfield. The town at my right was Villacañas, the closest town to my airfield. These are the surroundings of my airfield, so I know very well this area. I was a little bit low, but I was hoping that the clouds that I saw in the way of the airfield could get me some thermals that helps me to arrive safely to my airfield. What I didn't know at this moment was that the day was totally off and none of these clouds will help me. This moment, after passing below some clouds without any type of lift, seeing my airfield at the end of the horizon, I had to decide to outlanding. I prepared myself and the plane for the outlanding. Down landing gear, flaps in landing position, and the hand in the brakes. I was getting nervous. I decided to test the brakes, so I tried to brake a little bit, but I couldn't. I didn't know what was happening, but I was not able to brake the plane. After some seconds of thinking about the situation, I realized that my hand was on the flap and not on the brake. Finally, I found the brake with my left hand and I started the last part of the outlanding. As you can see with the dust, there was a strong wind from the east at this moment in the place.